Yo guys, what is good? It's your boy Jamong here, back again with another video. And today we're going over my take of the top 10 best sneakers of 2023. Alright, so before I start this video, in the time that I'm filming this today, it is Christmas, so I wanted to wish you guys all a happy holidays, and probably when the time this video gets out, it'll be around New Year's. So again, I wanted to wish you guys a happy New Year. I'm very excited for 2024, and yeah, I just feel like this year has just been so much better than 2022 in terms of sneaker releases. I felt like last year we did not get good sneaker drops whatsoever. We got a lot of trash colorways, a lot of the same things releasing over and over again. And while there might have been some drops this year that were questionable and not so great, I felt like for the most part we got a lot of solid sneaker drops that I was really excited about for myself. Also, before I start this list, keep in mind that this is all entirely in my opinion. Now, when I was curating this list, I was thinking to myself, do I want this top 10 to be more so in what everyone else thinks, in the hype of each sneaker release, or do I want to make it in terms of my liking and my personal opinion? And I feel like in a lot of my videos I end up going with the first one. I tend to go towards what the public likes, and it's not stuff that I would cop for myself. But here on this list, I wanted to make sure that every sneaker that I picked out was a sneaker that I thought was nice in my opinion. It's what I like, and it's what I think should be in the top 10. So with that being said, these are the top 10 best sneakers that I've released in 2023. Let's hop into it. So starting at number 10 is a sneaker that when they first released, a lot of people were definitely excited for them, and as time went on, the hype kind of went down a little bit, and we do have the Spider-Man Jordan 1s from the Across the Spider-Verse movie. Now, I think a lot of people forget that when the movie first dropped and then these sneakers dropped with it, so many people were really excited for this particular sneaker. I mean, now if you look on the aftermarket, they're probably going for like, at $200, which it's pretty affordable, so the hype is not there at all. But yeah, again, people forget about how hyped they were when this shoe first released. Everyone pretty much wanted it in their rotation. Now, if you ask me, they're not as nice as the Origin Story Jordan 1s, which go for around $600 to $700, but I still think that they are a solid Jordan 1 with a nice Spider-Verse theme to it. And I had my own personal pair this year. I was able to snag a pair for myself. I didn't end up keeping that one. I used it for trade bait, so it's no longer in my collection. But I will have to say, when I held it in my hands, the details, especially the little patchworks that they used for each panel of the sneaker, is just insane. The attention to details is crazy. So I feel like this sneaker is definitely a little underrated. I think a lot of people, just because they see that $200 price point, they decide that, oh, it's not a hype shoe, so therefore it's not a nice shoe. But I still think that nevertheless, this deserves to be in the top 10 sneakers of this year. So yes, it will be in my number 10 spot. Here we have the Spider-Man Jordan 1s Across the Spider-Verse. Moving on to number 9 on this list, we do have the Crenshaw Nike SB Dunks. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know too much about this collab. I don't really know anything about Crenshaw, but when I saw this, I thought it was a really solid colorway. I just really appreciate whenever Nike SB Dunks go for an insane collaboration. For example, a couple of years ago, we saw the Sean Cliver SB Dunks, and now we see this Crenshaw collaboration. I just think that, with the icy bottoms, the blue swoosh, and just that unique patterning on the upper is really nice. I think this was a really low-key drop. I don't really remember this dropping to the public. I think that a lot of major skate shops got them, and I think, if I'm correct, a lot of people had to do like kickflips in order to cop this sneaker because they only wanted skaters to have a chance to cop them. So yeah, I haven't really seen these a lot too often in the public, but I still think that this is a really solid sneaker for 2023. I just really appreciate it whenever SB Dunks have a collab with skating brands, and this is definitely one of them. So here, number 9, I don't have too much else to say about this, but we do have the Crenshaw Nike SB Dunks. Moving on to number 8 on this list is another sneaker that not a lot of people talk about nowadays, but it did drop this year, and we do have the Year of the Rabbit Jordan 1 Lows. Now, this dropped in January, and I think it was pretty hard to get for most people. I don't think that this was widely available to the public at all. Given that this is also going for around, I think it's 500 or 600 bucks on StockX, the Jordan 1 Year of the Rabbits are, I can just see that the attention to detail is crazy. I love the fuzzy shoelaces. I love the hairy suede on the shoe. And this is definitely reminding me of the Travis Scott Jordan 1 lows with the brown and white color scheme and the attention to details. I think this is a really solid Jordan 1 low. But again, I think I have to be fair to put these so high up on the list just because, you know, we really didn't see too much of this shoe shining this year. But still, it is a really nice sneaker, and I feel like it deserves to be on my top 10 list. So here at number 8 on our list, we do have the Jordan 1 lows Year of the Rabbits. I feel like if I was ever able to own this in my collection, I definitely would. It's the little attention to details that make it for me. Alright, moving on to number 7 on this list, we do have the A Ma Maniére Jordan 5s in the Dawn colorway. Now, I was very close to copping this sneaker a couple weeks back when they first released. Now, they're not going for an insane amount of profit. They're literally only sitting for about like maybe $260 on the market. And I love A Ma Maniére whenever they collab with Jordan Brand. I think all their collaborations are fire. I don't have any Jordan 5s in my collection, and I really liked A Ma Maniére's take on the Jordan 5. They also have that slim down padding on the ankle area, which makes the shoe a lot easier to wear. I think it's the minor tint of blue on the midsole that really make it for me. I love that shoe a lot. Yeah, I was really debating with myself if I wanted to cop it, but I don't think that I need another white sneaker. And I don't think that I need a Jordan 5 in my collection. I feel like it would be something that I would have just to fulfill, but I would not wear this, you know, on the daily. It's not something that I would go out wearing often. I kind of had to convince myself that this would probably be a shoe that I'd just leave sitting here or I'd sell after a couple of wears. Nevertheless, it still is a beautiful sneaker. I feel like it should have gotten more love for this year. It definitely is a great sneaker. I love A Ma Maniére. They never fail for me. So here at number 7, we do have the A Ma Maniére Jordan 5s in the Dawn colorway. Alright, moving on to number 6 on this list, we do have a sneaker that I'm actually surprised is this high up on the list, but for me, it is the Travis Scott Jordan 1 lows in the olive colorway. Now, if you guys know me, you do know that I love the Travis Scott Jordan 1 lows. I love every single Travis Scott collaboration with Jordan Brand. And when it comes to the Jordan 1s, I have loved each and every single one of their collaborations. I feel like it's the little attention to details again that really get me. I have gone for each and every single one of their releases. Unfortunately, I've taken L's on probably all of them, and I just thought it was essential to put a Travis Scott Jordan 1 low on this list, and it has to be the olive colorway. I think when it comes to Travis Scott collaborations, it doesn't even matter if I don't like the colorway. I think for the fact that they still execute this shoe so nicely, it deserves to be on the top 10 sneakers of 2023. But I will have to be honest though, if I'm looking at all the different Travis Scott Jordan 1 low colorways, this one will have to probably be on the lower end of my preferences. So number 1 would definitely be the reverse mochas. Then number 2 would be the fragments. Then we got the mochas, the phantom blacks, and then the olives. I know a lot of people love the olives. I think that there's just too much black on the shoe. I'm not really a big fan of that black toe box. And yeah, I don't think that I would wear this very often. I know a lot of people can rock them, but for my own preference, I would have to say that it's a great shoe, don't get me wrong, but I think that we have just seen better colorways of the Travis Scott Jordan 1 lows. So unfortunately, this is why I have to put it so high on this list. This shoe didn't even make my top 5, but still, I think it deserves a spot sitting at number 6. This is probably, for some people, their sneaker of the year. This is the Travis Scott Jordan 1 lows in the olive colorway. Alright, moving on to number 5 on this list. Now we are finally at the top 5. We do have the Asics Gel Kayano 14s. Now, I'm not talking about any specific colorway. I feel like for this year in 2023, the Asics Gel Kayano 14s have made an excellent debut in our sneaker culture. I feel like everyone who's rocking them knows what's up, because let me tell you guys right now, the Asics Gel Kayano 14s are so beautiful and they're so comfortable. Actually, let me get my pair out right now and show you guys for myself. So yep, this is my pair of the Asics Gel Kayano 14s. Yeah, literally this year they've been releasing a ton of different colorways. I know even for Kith, they've had a collaboration where they released their pink Antelope colorway and then their green Scarab colorway. I thought the pink colorway was really nice. I was actually really tempted to cop that one. I just could not justify the $300 price point, so I had to go for something a lot less expensive. So I literally went with the OG plum colorway, and this one probably cost me half the price. I think with that dad trainer vibe nowadays, it's really trending, and especially if you're a fan of it. I mean, I am myself. The Asics Gel Kayano 14s are definitely the perfect shoe to own because it's so comfy, guys. I could literally walk in this all day and I would not feel like my feet are in pain. Yeah, I think that if anyone is literally looking for a comfortable sneaker and you're all about this certain vibe for a shoe, definitely go for them. I know a lot of people are not going to include the Gel Kayano 14s on their top 10 list, but I definitely think it has to be on mine just because of how much of a statement it just made this year. Here at number 5, we do have the Asics Gel Kayano 14s, one of the most comfortable sneakers of this year by far, and it's had a whole bunch of different colorways that I'm just really impressed with. And moving on to number 4 on this list, we do have another comfy runner that I had to include, and we do have the Nike Zoom Vomero 5s. Like the Gel Kayano 14s, this year Nike has just made a huge comeback with their Nike Zoom Vomero 5s. And let me tell you guys, the Vomeros are one of my most comfortable sneakers that I own. Now earlier this year, the Nike Zoom Vomero 5s came out with a lot of different colorways in a very muted tone. So we had the oatmeals, the triple whites, and then we had another one that was like gray. Now those colorways go for a whole lot on StockX, but later down the month we saw a lot more different colorways releasing that were more spontaneous and bright and just very out there for a lot less of the price point. For me, I got the Have a Nike Day Zoom Vomero 5s, and these were really cheap. They were only like, I think it was like $160. Right now in StockX, they're going for even less. I feel like you can get them for like at about $100. And these were an Asia exclusive, so they didn't release in the US, but I thought this colorway was so beautiful. I just think that you know, mint blue with the ivory is just insane. Again, this is a comfy runner that you could literally wear every day. It's a great staple piece for your collection. I have to include this in the top 10. I know the Vomeros weren't too hyped this year, but I felt like they did make a huge comeback, and they're pretty much carrying Nike brand nowadays. So this is one of Nike's best sellers when it comes to their sneakers. I had to include this considering just how much of an impact they had on the sneaker community. So here at number 4, we do have the Nike Zoom Vomero 5s. Literally one of the most comfortable sneakers I've ever owned. They are so beautiful. I love these a lot. And moving on to number 3 in this list is a sneaker that I thought would have been the sneaker of the year if it wasn't for the sneakers holding the first and second spots. But we do have the Jordan 3 Reimagined White Cements. Now earlier this year, I was able to cop a W when they first dropped, and I had these sneakers in my collection for a long time. I did use them for trade bait, so I don't have them anymore. But nevertheless, I thought that Jordan Brand's take on the reimagined Jordan 3s were crazy. I just loved the aged midsoles. And yeah, just the overall shoe was really nice. I feel like I liked the reimagined 3 so much better than the original white cement Jordan 3s. I just thought that having that reimagined take changed up the whole aesthetic of the sneaker. It wasn't so crisp and clean, so freshly white. It was more aged down, and I liked that a lot. I was actually debating on keeping my pair of the WC3s, but I already had the Alma Maniere 3s at the time, and I just didn't need another Jordan 3 in my collection. Now for most of the year, the reimagined white cement 3s were pretty affordable. They were literally going for like $50 over retail. Now they're starting to go up. I think a lot of people are starting to regret not owning them. I would own them for myself again, but I don't really need them in my collection. I just thought it's a clean colorway. It's a staple piece if you're trying to make a statement. You know, if you want to show people you know something about shoes, but you're not trying to go for something too expensive, I feel like the white cement Jordan 3s are a great sneaker to own. So here at number 3, we do have the reimagined Jordan 3s in the white cement colorway. Alright, moving on to number 2 on this list. Now this is another sneaker that has been the sneaker of the year for most people's lists. Unfortunately, it's not for mine, but we do have the Jordan 4 SBs in the pine green colorway. Now this year, a lot of people went crazy for the sneaker release just because we have never seen a collab between Jordan 4s and Nike SBs. This was something new to us, and a lot more people were really hyped about it just because it was much more comfortable, and especially that pine green colorway is really clean. I will have to give it to them. Now this was almost going to be my sneaker of the year. If, let's say, I made a list that was more catered towards the public based on what people liked and not based on what I liked, this would definitely be the sneaker of the year. Unfortunately, I do have a sneaker that I like so much better. At first, I really wasn't a fan of that gum bottom. I don't know why, I just really don't like gum bottoms whatsoever. But after a while, it just kind of grew on me. I thought that this sneaker was really nice. Honestly, I would cop it for myself if I already did not own the Lightning Jordan 4s. I don't think that I need multiple pairs of Jordan 4s in my collection, but nevertheless, I would still really like to have that one day. I've heard that they are a lot more padded and cushioned, which makes them more comfortable, and I'm really interested in trying that out for myself. Not to mention, I've seen a lot of fire fits of the Jordan 4 pine greens with a lot of today's aesthetics. Just the trends that are going on nowadays, people have paired these SB4s so nicely with, you know, they're really baggy pairs of pants, a nice vintage varsity jacket. So here at number 2, we do have the Jordan 4 SBs in the pine green colorway. Now before we get to number 1 on this list, I wanted to give an honorable mention to one specific sneaker. I was gonna include this on my top 10 list, but I decided not to, and we do have the Jordan 1 Low Golfs. Now if you guys saw my recent video on my review of the Travis Scott Low Golfs, I got that pair of sneakers just because I wanted to trade them in for another Travis sneaker that I really want as my grail. Now you might see it already here. I will do a full review on that later on. But yeah, I no longer have the Golfs with me in my collection. I just thought it was a really solid Travis sneaker, but I think because they were Golfs, they were not as hype or as nice looking as all the rest of the Travis Scott sneakers. Now they probably would have earned the number 11 spot on my list, but after looking at the rest of the 10, I just felt like there was no room to include the Golfs. I just did not think that they were too nicely executed. I didn't really like the aggressive traction patterning or the different colored swooshes. Nevertheless, it still is a nice shoe. I just thought that there were 10 other nicer sneakers this year that released. So an honorable mention has to go to the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Low Golfs. Unfortunately, it cannot be on our list this year. And finally, here at number 1 on our list, the sneaker of the year goes to the J Balvin Jordan 3s in that Medellin colorway. This sneaker is so fire. I am a really big fan of color gradients, and I just love that transition from purple to pink. Now this is supposed to represent that sunset that they see in Medellin, which is where J Balvin's from, and I thought that this take on the Jordan 3s were absolutely fire. I honestly slept through this release. I didn't go for them. I kind of regret it because I think that this is a fire sneaker. I would have gone for it myself if I already did not have the Jordan 3s. Again, I don't see myself needing a ton of Jordan 3s or Jordan 4s in my collection. I think one is enough for me. Now this shoe is definitely on people's top 10, but I don't think anyone would rank this shoe at number 1. I personally think that this is the nicest sneaker that has released all year. Just that cream upper, and then you have that really clean purple and pink on the back of the sneaker. That is what makes this shoe so beautiful, and I definitely have to give the spot to the J Balvin Jordan 3s. I feel like even with J Balvin's other collabs with Jordan Brand, I feel like this is the cleanest colorway that we have seen with a J Balvin collab, and I feel like this is one of the cleanest colorways we've especially seen with the Jordan 3. So here at number 1 on this list, we do have the J Balvin Jordan 3s in the Medellin colorway. Alright guys, there we have it. These are the top 10 best sneaker releases of 2023. Now let me know what you guys think of my list. I know that this was very different from what other people put. I know for a fact not a lot of people would put the Asics Gel Kayano 14s or the Nike Vomero 5s on their list, but I thought they definitely earned this spot, especially in my sneaker collection. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below because I do want to hear from you guys. But if you guys ended up agreeing with my list, please give this video a big thumbs up. Even if you didn't agree with it, still give this a big thumbs up and smash the subscribe button if you have not already. Guys, I checked my stats and about 99% of you guys who are watching my videos are not subscribed. So if you guys could please subscribe, that would mean the world to me. I would also like to hear from you guys, especially for those of you guys who are sneakerheads. What's your take on the top 10 best sneakers of 2023? Drop your 10 in the comments down below. I will have to admit, guys, I've been pretty busy, but I thought it was necessary to try to squeeze this video out. And if I do have time, once we hit 2024, I will drop another video on the top 10 worst releases of 2023. So I'm looking forward to making that. And again, guys, happy holidays, happy new year. These are my top 10 best sneakers of 2023. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.